What is up, XRP community? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. I want to talk about some general positive crypto news and macro news. Also, a Goldman Sachs executive talking about 2024, 2025 and what you should be looking at in the crypto market. Some XRP and the Central Bank of France documents, and then a realistic long-term price analysis for XRP based off statements from Chris Larsen, one of the Ripple co-founders. So let's hop right into it. Here you can see the growth of the M2 money supply. And you'll see earlier in 2023, late 2022, for the first time in almost a decade, the money supply had actually started to decrease. We're seeing an uptick in that now. Whenever there's more money in the market, that money has to go somewhere. And typically it'll get bought into equities, securities, and risk on assets like crypto. So it's good to see that we're seeing an increasing trend in the money supply. And then another positive news that just goes to show the longevity in crypto. This massive asset manager, Van Eck, of one of the world's largest investment firms, $76 billion in assets under management. And they have pledged to donate 5% of their profits with their spot Bitcoin ETF to Bitcoin's open source development. It just goes to show this digital asset class, it's not a fad and it's here to stay. When you have OG investment firms like Van Eck pledging 5% of the profits, Bitcoin's going nowhere. And XRP actually does what Bitcoin was designed to do. Bitcoin's supposed to be peer-to-peer payments. It's failed in that regard. And XRP does it at a level that Bitcoin can't even comprehend. You guys need a spot to get crypto, XRP. Check out Uphold. It's sleek, it's simple, it's secure. It's where I get my crypto. You can find a link to Uphold in the video description below. And if you want $41 for free to get some more crypto, sign up with Webull. Deposit 1 penny and you're guaranteed $41 in free stocks. Sell your stocks, close your account. Use that 41 bucks to get some more XRP if you want. You can also find Webull in the video description below. You guys have probably been hearing a lot about de-dollarization. The US dollar has been the world reserve currency for centuries now. And every world reserve currency only lasts for so long. And we're starting to see the end of that. It first started in the past year when Saudi Arabia, for the first time in American history, started accepting other currencies for their petroleum. This came out today. Iran is joining the BRICS. This is Brazil, Russia, India, China, in a plot to permanently dethrone the dollar. Pardon me, I'm a little bit tired. In the BRICS, we're seeing them as an emerging global economic power. I think it's just going to continue to trend this way. They're going to have more and more economic share, and it's going to be interesting to see when the BRICS start to get close to a majority share of global trade. How is the U.S. going to react? Do you think the U.S. is just going to let BRICS take this market cap from them? Probably not. The U.S. prides itself on war. It's a country of war. In 256 years of American history, the U.S. has only been out of a war for 16 years. Where there is war, there is money. It's the sad truth of the world. But it will be interesting to see how the BRICS USA dynamic shapes up in the future as they take more and more control. Here in this Central Bank of France document, they cite Ripple. They say, since the attributes of a unit of wholesale CBDC may be integrated into a crypto asset circulating on another blockchain, which is possible on Ethereum and Ripple, for example. They cite Ethereum, but guys, Ethereum and Ripple, they can't really compete. Ethereum, it was very innovative with its smart contracts. It's the chosen chain for developers at this current state. However, Ripple has way faster transaction times and way lower transaction fees. Furthermore, Ethereum isn't making private CBDC ledgers. They don't have all these big partnerships with these big banks, and they really serve two different markets. In the future, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of these CBDCs go through Ripple's federated sidechains and through their private CBDC ledger. Which digital assets are relevant for wealth managers? I found this a bit interesting. This is a PowerPoint slide from a company called Asia Next. They talk about cryptocurrencies, ones that offer more liquidity, right? XRP's product market fit is on-demand liquidity. They say blockchain and crypto ETP. The needs are for liquidity and regulatory clarity. Ripple is the only company that has a crypto asset that already has regulatory clarity, that being XRP in the USA. And if you look at regions like the Asia Pacific region, the regulatory clarity for XRP is leaps and bounds ahead of the USA. And I think over time, we're just going to see more and more regulatory clarity in that aspect. So here's a clip from Chris Larsen, but first let me read this tweet from Mr. Huber. A realistic long-term outlook on the most bullish price scenario for XRP. I have no special knowledge or competence for you to base any value on this analysis. I just answer the question of how high does Chris Larsen think the XRP price could realistically go. We can't know, but it's very likely that we can approximate Chris Larsen's thought process in 2020, 2021, and 2022. He compared XRP to the Swiss francs for 3 times now. And the Swiss franc is globally known as the world's most secure currency. When the Swiss franc fails, that's when the banking industry is really hitting the fan. And he knows his customers, even those under non-disclosure agreements, he will have done his bookkeeping. His ultimate scenario, which he makes public, is that XRP could be a currency like the Swiss franc. But what does that mean? There are around 87.2 billion francs in circulation. Taking into account Switzerland's equity ratio, which is around 5%, this results in a maximum liquidity of 1.7 trillion, or around $2 trillion. With a market cap of XRP and an assumed XRP circulation of 60 billion, the most realistic and bullish scenario would mean a price of around $33 US. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm just saying this is the most bullish one may assume based on Chris Larsen's public statements. I'll take a listen.
What about the future of cryptocurrencies? Where do you see the future of these digital assets and maybe the role of Bitcoin and Ripple or XRP in that future?
Yeah, so our view is that these digital assets really become supplemental to the existing family of currencies, right? So every country still needs its own, fiat currency for all kinds of reasons that I won't get into. It's very complicated, right? And I actually think that the big four, the yen, the euro, the dollar, the RMB, they actually, I think, come stronger in this world that we're going into, partially because of digital assets.
Okay.
That these digital assets actually contribute to a world that's more interoperable, where more people around the globe can get access to these big four. And most of global commerce is done in the big four. So I think you have a bifurcation going on. Those big four get stronger. I think some of the smaller currencies, maybe even more of the very small fiat currencies, become less relevant, maybe even disappear. A country could have its own fiat, but still use one of the big four. You have lots of
like
examples.
Montenegro, right?
Absolutely. But I think then where the digital assets fit in, like things like XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're kind of in that mid-range. They become, I think, like the Singapore dollar or the Swiss franc, and they become useful in kind of lubricating the world to make it easier for those big four to get in the hands of people all around the world. So that's useful. And then it might also be things like applications and devices that maybe primarily use one of those digital assets. So that's kind of the view we have. So I think in that world, countries should be less threatened by what's going on and see them as simply supplemental rather than a threat.
And now I want to transition to this clip from ex-Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal talking about 2024, 2025, and giving you some very valuable macroeconomic information. Take a listen.
Again, don't fuck this up. It's the key mantra for this market. Don't overtrade, don't use leverage, don't FOMO, following your friends, looking at a trade you missed out. Just stick with the program, hold your trade, add on sell-offs, anything over 20%, add into it, and just calmly let it play out. Don't overtrade. Don't try and pick tops. Buy in, buy out. You'll miss it. I've seen everybody do it. I've done it myself. Just stick with the program. Keep your cool head. Hold it. Store it on your ledger. Don't let your exchange blow up and take it away from you. Don't do bloody DeFi farming, because something else can take your coins away. Your job is to not part with your coins until 2025, particularly towards the end of 2025. That's your one job. So anyway, you've got the brief. Hopefully you'll remember, again, repeating the words, not to fuck this up. Okay, finally. One thing at Global Macro Investor that we talked about 3-4 months ago is we said we think Q4 is going to be something that is bananas. As liquidity starts, as the spigots of liquidity start to open, it should cause a kind of dramatic increase in prices. Part of that is the seasonality of the S&P 500. Here it is. It's been a beautiful chart, and off we go to the races. We should finish the year strong. I think we finished the NASDAQ, S&P all-time highs. So nice finish to the year. Same with the NASDAQ. 93% correlation with seasonality. Off we go to the races. Nothing unusual. You'll have a correction or two en route, and you'll have some big spurts into the end. Everyone's going to be benchmark chasing at the end of the year. Let them do it. Just hold it. But what gets interesting is next year, the seasonality remains bananas. Presidential election years are very positive. The stimulus, and that stimulus helps buy votes. Buying votes allows the stock market to go up as well. They want that to happen. And this is the seasonality going back to 1964. Again, you can see you get some volatility on routes. It's not a straight run, but it's a straighter run as you can expect in markets. So it should work out pretty well, I think. Bitcoin seasonality is the same. Presidential election years, up only. The reason you've got the sell-off here in March is because this data has 2020 on. If you took 2020 out, straight up only. But there's only 2 cycles, so here's 3 cycles, but it's up only. It's the banana zone. It's when you make a shit ton of money by just sticking with the program. And hopefully I've laid out what the program is. How not to get caught by the next shiny thing. You know, betting on oil going up or something. Yes, there's trades to be done. Do those trades, but don't screw up the big position, the secular trend, with the liquidity trend, the everything code, the supermassive black hole that is crypto. Please don't screw those things up. Now, Coinbase has been a great one as well. We've been along that for a while, and that's exploding higher. And it's been exactly following the post-crash pattern of the NASDAQ. And that should continue higher too. Again, choppiness, but generally higher into year end, going into the ETF. Amazon and Coinbase have been great. The Amazon bust when it fell 97% coming out of the .com crash. Coinbase has been following that beautifully, as has ARK and a whole bunch of other things. And Coinbase is starting to wildly outperform, and it should continue to do so. Coinbase, I think, is one of the single most superior equity bets in the world because of what we know from the everything code, where crypto should be going over the next 24 months. Coinbase is going to be a massive beneficiary.
So Raoul Pal, ex-Goldman Sachs executive, super bullish on Coinbase, which I think is just a testament to the overall crypto space, as Coinbase, their whole niche is crypto assets. Guys, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for subscribing if you are a new subscriber. And yeah, have a great weekend. Until next time.